Good afternoon, everyone. Today's training, we're going to focus on integrating technology into the curriculum, okay? We have a website on the board, as you can see, that has 8 steps that we're expecting you to follow in order to integrate mobile devices into your current lesson plans, okay? Goal number 1 is to enable grade teachers K through 12 to effectively integrate the use of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 tablet and available electronic resources into existing lesson plans, accounting for student technology training, troubleshooting, and contingency planning should the technology fail. Of course, we can talk about having a plan B, because as we know, technology doesn't always work. All right, so goal 2. Teachers identify electronic resources available via the tablet and will enhance the existing lesson. I'm not going to read them over to you, so you have the opportunity to look at these different steps that we're going to take throughout the training. As with anything with training, we're going to give you hands-on experience, and we're going to ask for feedback so that we can make the training better the next time. There's certain behaviors that we're expecting to be modeled while we're doing this training. Okay? So step 1, I'm going to ask that you go through your lesson plans and select an existing lesson plan that could be enhanced with the use of technology. Thank you for sharing your lesson plans with me. So now we're going to take a look at step 2, and that's looking at the Galaxy Note features. That way you can figure out, hey, I can use this in the lesson plan at this part. So let's take a look at some of the features that the Galaxy Note has. So we're going to go to, so that you don't have to read it all now. We're going to go to messaging, multimedia. That way you can figure out, hey, how can I use this in my lesson plan? So if you don't mind, can you take a look? I'm going to put a furley on the board. Can you take a look at the Galaxy Sam Note manual and see how you would like to use it? It's on your screen if you take a look at it. Can you think of any ways that you might be able to incorporate one of the features into your lesson? If you do, raise your hand and let me know. If you would like to share with the class. So here are some of the sections in the program, the applications. How could you use any of these? Just think about, how can I use this during class?
I would like the kids to use the presentation features, okay, so that they can show what they know by presenting something that they created based on what they've learned.
Okay.
So I think they can pull that into our lessons and make it more real to the kids.
That's the way to synthesize information, is like show what you know.
And going off of that, with the camera and video, letting them use that to say what they know, like maybe act out, like if you do plays, or just give out knowledge. Like there's little apps and stuff to use for that.
Okay. I think we can use the messenger feature to help students stay more on task instead of having off-task conversation. If they were typing notes back and forth to each other, then the teacher can track what each person is saying rather than having a few students share in the time that you have.
Yes. Great. Those are great ideas. Hi, we're on step 4 now. I'm going to talk about, in the reference guide, how sometimes we can troubleshoot problems, okay? with the systems and how to restore it, resetting the Wi-Fi router. So let's look at resetting the Wi-Fi routers. Okay, sometimes we might lose connection. And so I would like it if you would go to your setting feature on your tablet or your computer. Okay, thank you. See that you are all there. And now we can go to Wi-Fi connection. And sometimes whatever connection is close by, you might see. So in order for security reasons, we want to make sure we always choose the school's connection, the network, because it has safety features. Even when you're using it with your students, make sure they're not connected to any other network other than the school. When we need to charge these, one thing that we could do with our students is make sure they get plugged up every night. Don't just allow the students to place the pad into the computer stand. Have them plug it up. That way it's fully charged in the morning, and we don't have to worry about children sitting on the floor or having to be moved because their Samsung has, the battery has died. Okay, as with everything else that we've been doing, every time we come to a different step, at the bottom you can see that there are pieces that we're asking you to fill out, and it's already in a folder. That way we can go back and look at what we've done, what are some of the problems, what lesson plans did we do, how did we enhance that lesson or the learning process for the students. So with step 5, we're going to come up with like a plan B. So what happens when the technology doesn't work? What happened when the computer is broke, or the tablet is broke, or the notebook is broke? What happens when there's no connection because we've had a storm? So right now I want you to think about, for example, if we're using fractions, and we're using an interactive piece on the notebooks, on the Samsungs, and we're using an interactive piece to help children be able to see the differences with the fractions. When we're talking about comparing fractions, do you have any ideas of some manipulatives or other things that we can use if the technology fails? Yes, ma'am.
One thing you can always do is have the students draw it out or use construction paper or markers and have them make the actual fraction bars themselves if you don't have those manipulatives and still do the activity.
Okay.
Or you can use the fraction tiles that sometimes teachers have.
Okay.
Yeah, and remember, fractions are not just tiles and pieces. We can also use the students themselves. Like, for example, we have a class of 18 students. If 5 of them are boys, I mean, what fraction are boys?
Okay.
Okay, so you can also do that.
Okay, and that's real life work. That's real world applications too. That's something that they see in the real world every day. So what I'm going to have you do right now is, can you put that information into the folder for step 5, sample the problems and solution tables. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up step 6. All right, thank you. All right, with step 6, we're going to rewrite that lesson plan. So I want you to think of different ways that you can incorporate technology to enhance the lesson that you've already had. Okay? So there's a rubric that I'm going to share with you about what we're looking for. Okay? Are the technology standards included? Okay? There's needs improvement, sufficient, and exceptional. Is the timing of the lesson adjusted to allow for technology pre-training? Because if our students have never used this before, how can we just give it to them and expect them to go through it? So we need to think about the pre-training, if necessary, for the lesson. Are technology pre-training instructions provided prior to instruction? And is there a plan B provided for individuals or the class just in case technology fails? And are all added components clear and flow within that established lesson? So these are the things that we're looking for when you revise your lesson plan. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to go ahead, 5 or 10 minutes to go ahead and look and try to enhance that lesson in one way. Thank you.